at the game against the Giants when he walked off the mound and he got that standing O, and I was sitting there just praying that he was coming back. And then I see that Greinke gets a 6-year deal worth $147 million from the Dodgers. I think, wow, if Cole had even gotten to free agency, I can't imagine the kind of number he would have gotten from the Dodgers, because the Dodgers are spending at will right now.
Yeah.
So I think it was great to see that Ruben was able to get him for the deal that he did.
Yeah, I mean, if there had been if there happened to be a bidding war for Cole Hamels, it could have, because remember for a while they were guessing the 175, 200 million range, and I think, Greinke is a nice pitcher, but really hasn't pitched exceptionally well in 2 or 3 years. Cole Hamels seems to be getting better every year, is at the height of his game, and is also a left-hander, which sort of makes him, they last longer, probably worth more of a 6-year deal. So it was a nice moment. And you mentioned that standing ovation he got. That was sort of a goodbye Cole, if we never see again, kind of standing ovation, or if this, because everyone thought there was a chance that he could be traded at the deadline, and that's what that meant. So having him back is sort of the anchor of that staff. And you're right, at the price was amazing. Your honorable mentions were all really good. You gave Ryan Howard's 300th career home run, which is a nice thing, but sort of anticlimactic in the year that he had. I think we're all hoping he has just a real sort of Ryan Howard type year next year.
Yeah, the only reason I put it was because I think there was some kind of really good pace that he reached at. He was one of the fastest people to get there. That was really the only reason I put it on there. Because I remember I think ESPN ran a stat of that. So that was the only reason I had that.
Yeah, I mean, his first couple of years were, Babe Ruth sort of pace, his first 3 or 4 years, which sort of paced him to get to where he is now. The Thome walk-off home run against the Rays was awesome.
Yeah, and especially with the whole Papelbon deal with paying him to get him off the hook. I mean, there's just I think just everyone can agree how much they love Jim Thome. I mean, even though he really struggled at certain times, I mean, just to have him have one walk-off great moment like that, it was really just cool to see.
Yeah, I think that was a nice, fair, he didn't play here super long, but I think Jim Thome, at least in Philadelphia, will always be remembered as being a Philly. And then your final honorable mention was?
Finishing better than the Mets.
Yeah, because no matter how, it's like with the Eagles, no matter if you only win 2 games, if they're the Cowboys games, they win. If you have an 81-81 season, as long as the Mets finish worse than that, it couldn't have been that bad, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's a wonderful thing to see them below you in the standings. It's just great. We have a couple of buddies of mine. We run a hashtag, just the LOL Mets. We just love to watch them lose.
Yeah.
There's no better feeling.
Yeah, you know what? I think they actually had sort of a nice off-season, so I hope it's not a trend. I sort of like that R.A. Dickey trade and signing David Wright. So I hope there isn't a New York Mets renaissance. I'd like for them to be bad for another few years, at least while the Phillies are good. Hey, Bob, do you have a Twitter people can follow yet?
My Twitter is RS2511.
You got to get a better one than that.
I know. I remember. I remember I used before because Sharpe Bob and Sharpe are a pretty common name, so I kind of had to configure it a little bit. And I finally graduated college miraculously on the 4-year plan.
Oh,
so
congratulations!
Yeah, thank you. So I had to find something else. So I just went with my initials and a couple numbers I wore when I played hockey. So
okay. Well, I'll
definitely have to work on it though.
Yeah, one that people can remember. Well, you came up with a great list, and I think you did a great job. And I thank you for being part of the show tonight. It means a lot to me. So thanks, Bob.
Oh, thanks for having me on. It's great following you on Twitter and listening to your show. So thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it, brother. Well, there's Bob's list. If you agree, don't agree, you can hit Bob, you can hit me on Twitter, or you can call at 888-729-9494. The next list will be the top 5 national athletes from 2012. We're going to take a break from the Philly thing. We'll get back to Philly at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock will be the top 5 Philly sports moments of all the sports. But at 10:40, coming up next, is the top 5 national athletes of 2012, which will be with Ethan. That is up next. I am Spike Eskin, and 94 WIP Sports Time is 10:35.